Hello, everybody watching on Pivot Shift Ahead. Thank you so much for being here. It's your friend James Shaw, and I trust you're doing okay. I love these. I love learning from amazing agents who do a ton of stuff right, and it helps the community, and it helps them have an amazing business too. And we're going to talk to somebody today who's done that. Ellie McIntire, hello. How are you? Welcome.
Hi, I'm just making sure I spelled my own name right. I'm good. How are you?
It looks good to me. It looks good to me. Introduce yourself to everybody. Tell them who you are, where you're from, a little bit about your business, and then we're going to jump in.
Okay. Ellie McIntire. I've been in the business for 20 years. I service the central Maryland area, Baltimore, and about 30 miles outside of that. My team is called EPIK Home Group, and that's EPIK with a K. Which actually stands for Excellence, Professionalism, Integrity, and Knowledge. It was just an acronym we threw together, but it's a word that I absolutely love because it means great, it means wonderful, and my goal is to make everybody spell it with a K rather than a C.
Well, I think you're on the way. That's how I spell it now. So I think you're in good shape. And you have an epic business, and you have taken something that we've talked about a lot. You get on, you go to mega camp every year, family reunion every year, and they're always interviewing somebody who's talking about doing a reverse bold 100. And this has been around for a long time. And the idea right behind this is if you go back to the MAPS coaching program called Bold, and to make 100 contacts in a day or 100 contacts in a week, and then someone said, well, I'm going to do 100 in a day. And so these are outbound. And then someone said, well, to make it easier, we're going to do a reverse bold 100 where 100 people call into us in a day. And then you took it and said, well, let's combine the idea of a bold 100 and a reverse bold 100 and put it together. And out comes the EPIK Bold 100, and it's genius. So what motivated you to kind of put your spin on it, that instead of doing 100 outbound calls in a day, that wasn't going to work, having 100 inbound calls in a day, that wasn't going to work? What motivated you to kind of change it and explain what you're doing?
Okay, so I know most people know that I'm a very, very high D, and I like to rework things as well. So we actually did, during COVID, we did a Father's Day reverse bold 100, exactly the way that we were told to do it. We did a lot of marketing around it. We had everybody on deck ready to go, and it was just, it wasn't controllable. It was where people would call in, and then we'd have long periods of time when we wouldn't hear from anybody. We were doing the whole of the strategy right there, and then all of a sudden everybody would try and call, and you've got caller ID going crazy. And I'm like, there has to be a better way around that. So the next time we did it, I forget which actually one it was. During COVID too, we were very committed to becoming the unifier of our community. We did, lots of community events that we could do with COVID, feeding hometown heroes, etc. And we decided to do this where we would basically highlight one business, and that would be our grand prize. Hence the reason why we do it locally. I mean, if I was going to offer a green egg, somebody in Florida could put their hand up for a green egg, whereas I wanted it to be hyper local. And then we took it from an uncontrollable situation, aka where they call in, and also I personally think a time inefficient situation, because when somebody calls in, now you want to ask them what their name is, their phone number, their email, and what if somebody has a complicated name and they have a thick accent you can't understand. So to me, there was a lot of extra time wasted in that process, as well as also after you now need to transfer that handwritten scribble into a database. So that just kind of made it even more inefficient. So we completely changed it to make it into an EPIK Bold. But I can carry on if you want me to kind of go with the process.
Yeah, we're going to dive in and talk about it, because there's two things. So the part of the reverse bold 100 is that, hey, they're all calling in on this one day to check in with you because you're going to give out a prize. That's the reason why they're calling in, and it's your chance to connect with people and get some referrals. But yeah, we're giving away a big green egg, and so call in and register. So the first change you made was you're going to your local restaurants, and by the way, that's probably a ton of fun, right? To go talk to the local restaurant person and say, hey, let's give away a gift card or something like that for a nice dinner at your place.
Well, actually,
you're helping out your local businesses.
Well, yeah, it was more like we had a brand new, sadly, they haven't made it, but that we had Thanksgiving dinner for 8 people. And they would pack it all up because it was in the middle of COVID. They would pack it up and they would take it. Then we had another new restaurant that opened up. So we did it for Valentine's Day. It was a very special dinner for two. It was in the restaurant with, musicians. You were the only people in the restaurant. It was pre the restaurant opening. So it was really hyper local. Father's Day, I believe we did barbecue for 10, and they got to pick up all the barbecue. We brought the beer, and that was the prize. And of course, James, you may love barbecue, but there's absolutely no point in you putting your hand up because I can't deliver barbecue to you. So yes, we made the prize hyper local, also an opportunity to highlight our local businesses and to make it that only people that can actually take advantage of that prize would participate.
I love it. So you're helping out your local community, and Ellie, you're an expert in this and being engaged in the community. So it's working out great. All right. So that's first change you made. Second change you made then is I don't want you to call in. Don't call in to me. We're going to still call you, but you added this kind of, hey, register to expect our call that day. Talk a little bit about that part of the process.
Okay, so that's actually the funnest part. It's kind of like with Christmas. I love the lead up to Christmas, but Christmas Day is actually kind of like, okay, it's Christmas Day. So we
100%.
do
I'm with you on that. My favorite is like all the stuff, and then Christmas
love
comes and
it.
it's like, what happened? Where did it go? I'm with you. I hear you.
Love it. Yeah, it's like watching the what's the movie we watched, Drew? The Christmas Story. I mean, it's all part of the process. So we have a very detailed strategic plan starting, and we generally say start about 8 weeks out. So if it's Valentine's Day, you want to start talking about it right after Christmas or right after New Year. If it's Thanksgiving, you want to start talking about it now, et cetera, et cetera. Father's Day back in April. So as soon as one event's gone, you start talking about it and have a really defined strategy on what you want to do. And it's about blitzing everything. We use mediums such as, well, obviously we create a Facebook event. We then talk about it a lot. We'll go and do a live video on site of a restaurant or whatever we're using. And if they haven't opened yet, even better, we get a sneak peek and we get to introduce it. As we keep doing more and more of these, we have people that have registered, and of course we use a Google form. They have to fill out all the information on the Google form, which bring me back to that because there's a strategy in that too that we've tweaked. So we'll put it on Nextdoor, we'll put it on anywhere that LinkedIn, all of the places that we possibly can put it. We create postcards, we do flyers, we send out emails and text messages, we include our database. So it's blitz. We are talking about this in everything we do. If we, on our email signature, it says, have you registered for our whatever it is? So it's just it's a mass marketing.
All right, so social media. Hey, we're doing our EPIK Bold 100 on this day. It's going in your postcard mailings. It's in your emails that go out to your database. You're doing it on Facebook. You have a big, very popular Facebook group that you lead, and so it's promoted to everybody, and it's an 8-week promotion schedule. And so then you're telling them, go to the Google form, right? If you want to be part of this contest and have a chance to win the Valentine's dinner, then go sign up here, and we're going to call you that day. I think it's so smart. By the way, you have a playbook for this that for people that are in my private mastermind, the Inspire Mastermind group. We're going to share this playbook with you so you can go download it. Those of you who aren't in it, Ellie's still giving you the whole plan. You can go document it. But Inspire members, you'll be able to download this playbook, and you'll have access to everything Ellie's giving you. And so let's go into the Google form, because you're driving 8-week blitz. But the deal is you need people to say, please call me, right? They're giving you permission. They're giving you their contact info. You have their correct spelling of their name. Tell us about that process, how important it is.
So the Google form, and I love Google Forms because it's my favorite 4-letter word, which is free, of course. So the Google form is very intentional about the language in there. First off, it's EPIK Home Group are very proud to announce this EPIK Bold 100 with whatever entity we're using. And this is language that's evolved. So you're kind of getting the, I don't know what they call it, but after you've done it multiple times that we realize what we can do. In the first heading of it, we state that, of course, we want you to sign up. We'll give you the details of it. We clearly state in there, if you are an EPIK VIP, you will get 2 opportunities. And then the next part is, if you
an
do
EPIK VIP, real quick, is what your past client group, kind of your top
correct.
referrers. And so when they call in, their name's in twice.
Exactly. Yeah. So the EPIK VIP will get to have 2 opportunities, and we put it right out there. And then underneath it, it basically says, by signing up, you give us permission to contact you directly about this event and any other events that we may have in the community. And then I say, don't worry, we 100% promise not to spam you with real estate, ... But if you do have a real estate need, we'd love the opportunity to earn your business.
All right, so you're putting right in this Google form a chance to find out, is there a referral or a need opportunity? Does that help you determine who you're calling in what order?
It's sometimes, but then the questions happen. So obviously the questions are, we put the name, email address, etc. But we don't just put name. We put name so we know what to say when we call you. Email address so we know to remind you to expect our call. Phone number so we know the number. Just a little bit extra, just a smidge extra. After that, like I talked about on the Pivot Shift call, we have a newsletter. So every single community event says, would you like to receive the Catonsville Living newsletter? Yes, no, already registered. And this kind of helps us track who's already registered anyway. And then the last part basically says, hey, we're looking forward to talking to you. If between now and then you can think of anybody that has a real estate need, you'll get 2 extra tickets. Meanwhile, do you have anybody right now? Put their name and all their contact information here. So we remind them almost 3 times throughout, plus the constant word EPIK, which, like I said, that was... I didn't realize when I picked the name EPIK that it was going to be this viable in my marketing. But anyway, so, but we constantly remind them that, we are EPIK Home Group.
It's genius, absolutely genius. I love a couple of steps. I love is the reminder email going out, the day before, or whenever you do, to say, hey, by the way, don't forget, we're calling you tomorrow, right? Yep. So make sure you pick up the phone so that we can get your entry in for the chance to win this, because we're going to call tomorrow. And then multiple times just reminding them, hey, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? I imagine you've gotten referrals or opportunities to connect off to that, right?
Yeah. Well, the first one we did, we had 350 people that registered, and I think we did about 22 pieces of business.
Oh,
that,
come on.
It was pretty crazy. It was the first one we did. We were given 22 pieces of business. Not every single one closed, but I know for sure that there was at least 6 settlements at the time, and the others are full-time nurtures, including
Look, most
people
are not getting 22 leads in a week, Ellie. You got 22 leads off this thing in one day, turned into 6 pieces of business. I'll take it all day, and it cost you the time, but it created some energy and fun. You had to go buy whatever the prize is or figure that piece of it out. But Ellie, it's what an easier way to get 22 leads.
Yeah, I mean, it's then the strategy of the day, well, the week of, I mean, we obviously blitz social media again. We give people another opportunity to register. We make sure that they know. We do a lot of local videos too. We don't just usually have one prize. We use more than one from different restaurants. So you may have be signing up to win the dinner for 2 at the Beaumont, but we're also going to give, there's a cake from Sugar Bakers as well, which is another video. There's a bottle of wine from the wine store, which is another video. So there's also Edible Arrangements, which is a locally owned business, even though it's a franchise. They would give out strawberries. So we have all these different entities, and we have our lender and my title company, and everybody's kind of involved in participating in that fiscally, as well as I make them come and do the calls with me, honestly.
Well, okay, so that led to the next thing. I want to talk about the call in a minute, and we'll talk about the conversation in just a second. But first, you've got 300, you told me you had 350 people register. How are you doing 350 dials in a day?
Well, that's the great part about it, because it's very strategic. So first off, we sort out the different people. I mean, we sort out obviously the people that have put their name down for referrals. Then we sort through our VIP clients, the people have checked off their VIP clients. And honestly, I mean, I really do touch my clients a lot. So I actually give the call for that group to another person. The first time Drew did it. So, I mean, guess he was like 14 at the time. He was scripted. He can say he's part of EPIK Home Group. Everybody knows who he is. And he had his own script for the VIPs and just checked off as he went through. So I never touched the VIPs that day. I only want to talk to new business, to new people. So I'm very strategic about that. It sounds awful, and I probably should think, but the people that are not inside our capture area, I may not call them until like the last part of the day. But we definitely go through the call list, but we split it up. And my lender does come over. He understands that that's part of his participation with being part of our business, being part of our team. Everybody on our team is on a phone, actually in different parts of my house because I work from my home, and we all call and we have a script that's ready to go.
It's great. And I think it's smart to break it up. At first I'm thinking, wouldn't you call the VIPs? But how smart to have your son call. They love the extra time. Oh, I could talk to Ellie's son. This is so cool. I mean, I see this when people meet Naomi. You've met Naomi. And when people meet my daughter, they think it's fun. You get a little bit behind the curtain and people like that. And so a VIP wants to be behind the curtain. Then you can use your time best doing what you do, which is make it rain, right? You're a rainmaker. So you go find the new opportunities. It makes total sense. So I love how you've broken that up and you've got a lot of help. What's the call sound like? Can you walk us through a little bit about what that might look like?
Sure. It's actually my favorite part because I start off with, hi, this is Ellie McIntire with Keller Williams. And then I stop talking. And, obviously people get robocalls all the time. And I just wait for their reaction. And the first couple of times that we did this, they're like, yes. And they weren't horribly rude. And I said, hey, you registered to win dinner for two at the Beaumont. I've called to ask you a couple of questions. Do you have a moment right now? They're like, oh, yes, I remembered. I got your email. I got your text. I saw the videos. Yes, I'm ready. So the first part right there is actually getting funnier now because every time I do this, and we try to do it 3 to 4 times a year, people actually pick up the phone now who I don't know. They go, hello, Ellie. And they already know who I am, which is perfect.
Yep.
And we just recap of and once I realize who they are because of their address. So I generally ask local questions. So one of the questions would be, what's your favorite restaurant? And of course, that's down the road. That's going to be another post. Or what's your favorite playground if it's a kid themed, kind of thing. And then one of the best questions I asked was, obviously, I just don't list houses. I help buyers too. So we're putting together, seriously, a list of best kept secrets of Catonsville. What can you tell me that's a best kept secret that we can share with our buyers? So it's just, I've asked them when I pick the phone up that I told them who I am when I picked the phone up, that I'm Ellie McIntire with Keller Williams Realty. Secondly, I then mentioned the fact that we don't just sell houses, we buy houses. So it's a real tie-in. And of course, it's just part of the conversation. Then the last part is the fact that I bring it around to real estate again because I already have their address in front of me. Because I know my neighborhood so well, I'm like, oh, you live on Franklin Street. We just sold a house around the corner from that. Did you see that? Or whatever it is. And it's a conversation about real estate that then these calls do get sometimes a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be, it's like, hey, have you ever thought about? And then the last question I generally ask is there anything that we can do to help you?
Yeah.
And then you just stop talking. And then after that, with that big, long, silent pause, some people go, well, we're not selling our house anytime soon. And I always say, well, oh, that's funny. Yes, absolutely. I'm here to help you with real estate, but also to what we do in the community. Is there anything we can do in the community to help you? And it's just another reinforcement that, yes, I'm here for real estate, but let the silence do the heavy lifting.
Ellie, I've said this before. I mean it. You are the queen of understanding the agent's job is to be a connector of the community and engaged and involved in the community. You've mastered it more than anybody I've ever met. We did a whole call. People can go back and search. You and I did a whole call about your Facebook group. And so that you can find that in Pivot, Shift Ahead, or on KW Connect. Just type in Ellie McIntire's name. It'll pop up. I mean, you figured this out so that you're tying it all in. It sounds like it's very natural. These are very natural calls. These are easy calls. And, they create 22, leads per event. you can't pass that up. So this is great. Okay. So what's the win for you? You talked to all these 300 people. I mean, now you get the 22, you got 22 referrals one time that turned into 6 transactions, but what are the big wins for you? Why would someone want to do this?
Honestly, I love it. I really do. I enjoy. On one of the calls, we had somebody that said, I do see you on Facebook, and and this was right in the middle of COVID too. My uncle turns 100. No, actually, my father-in-law turns 100 years old. Do you think there's anything you could do just to say happy birthday on Facebook? And it was a quick pivot, and I'm like, yeah, we can do something. So I posted about how to for everybody to bring birthday cards for George. His name's George. He's actually now 102, I think it is. So everybody would drop off at another business, giving a business an opportunity to have people come to their business. They dropped off cards, and then I called the Jeep community that just loved doing parades, and they did a parade past George's house, and we gave him a great birthday. So there is ways to also help out the community as well. You just have to listen to what people need. I mean, if it's I advocate for like a dog park. A lot of people have said that, but just keep really detailed notes and stay connected to the community that I live in. I walk my dogs in, my kid goes to school in, that I shop in, I eat in. I am part of the community, and it's really important to me too. And it's just a creation of I get a lot of excitement. It's like we're taking out Halloween signs right now, like we talked about, and it's a wonderful way to do business when as long as you don't drive as bad as I do. So that's why I don't have signs on the back of my car.
That's right. Don't put your name on your car.
No.
This whole Facebook community that people are watching this in, Pivot Shift Ahead, was born in the pandemic. And the whole idea was I was doing a daily mastermind call just to help kind of keep us moving in the right direction, right? Do the right things. You're on that call just about every day. And it's 8 o'clock Eastern, every weekday morning right here. We've done over 700 of those calls, Ellie. I don't remember most of them, right? But one I remember is the day you told us about doing the Jeep parade for George. You brought that up on one of our calls one morning, and it's legendary. It's an absolutely legendary call. So your involvement in the community makes this work really well, and that's the secret. Go get involved in the community, be one with the community, support your community, and everything will come to you. All right. You gave us this playbook, which is great. So again, if you're an Inspire member, you're part of my private mastermind group, you can download the playbook. It's in the Inspire Facebook group. You can just download it from there. If you're not part of that community, then you can go watch this video a whole bunch of times and write down all the stuff Ellie gave you, and you'll be in good shape. What's the final message? What's the pro tip you want to give as we wrap up and put a bow on this conversation?
Keep it hyper local, be transparent, be natural, just be yourself, basically. I give time to your community. Put yourself in front of it, whether it be the organizer of something. Don't be a follower, be a leader, and go out of your comfort zone. I mean, doing video is just painful to me, but it's part of the process. And ultimately, you brand yourself in your community by doing this. And like I keep saying on Early Birds, mark my words, this is the next big thing that people are going to talk about, is how can you connect with your community to be that advocate, that person that creates things, and you enjoy the wealth that it brings, basically.
No doubt about it. And of course, if you like everything Ellie's sharing, you should get on Early Birds with her. She and Lee Corey lead this 6:30 Eastern time every weekday morning on Clubhouse. Ellie, tell them how they can find it.
It's just on Clubhouse. You can reach out to us. We put it in the thread sometimes. There are playbacks in the Clubhouse app. I mean, that's the only time we ever get on there. Some days we have almost 300 people in there, so it's pretty exciting. We have a lot of fun with that.
You do it while you're working out. Yeah, do it while you're working out. In fact, you are out walking around, I know, and Ellie and Lee's out doing her walk, and a lot of people. You download the Clubhouse app. Search for Early Birds Talking Real Estate. They do it at 6:30 every morning. And of course, Ellie's usually on the Pivot Shift Ahead call that we do at 8 o'clock Eastern right here in this group. Ellie, you're awesome. Thanks so much for helping everybody today and sharing this. Inspire members, jump on the Inspire page to download the playbook. And I appreciate you being here. Ellie, thank you so much. You're the best.
Thank you.
See you next time, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.